Out of the way about Gerard Butler. It's too late, buddy. You can't talk about him anymore.
Here we are.
Good evening, you fucking legends. We got a lot to talk about today. We pushed back from yesterday to do it today. Next week we should fall right back in line on Wednesday. And then probably going to be it for a little while. We'll start going down to, I think we agreed on once a month doing an episode, and probably bringing you more content when we do it, maybe longer episodes or something like that. However, because we are kind of in the busy season between the two of us, that's what's got to happen, and it is what it is. But like I said, we got a lot to talk about. I don't know who's developing this thing, but Radiant Aerospace. Okay, they're making a spaceship that's just going to take off from a jetway and just fly into outer space, I guess. Like, that's the plan. Don't know how successful that's going to be, but we'll see. We're learning from amphibians how to reproduce like severed limbs and things like that. Seems oddly like Lizard from Spiderman, so we're going to get into that. Also, this is going to be a spoiler episode. We're finally going to talk about Spider-Man a little bit. Pops hasn't seen it. I made sure to let him know. Don't watch this episode, okay? Because
didn't he have plans to see it like fucking, I don't know, a month ago?
He had plans to see it. Mama Steele thought she had COVID, so they were unable to go. And then here we are. So 2 months later.
We got to blame Mama Steele for it. I get it. It's cool.
Yeah. Saltarita's just dried her out a little too much, and then
that's right.
She's good. She could water. That's The Incredible Hulk is a drink. Did you know this? We're going to talk about that and what that entails. Unprofessional Olympics. There's a lot of restrictions that's going to take place on these upcoming Olympics, which, by the way, the opening ceremony is tonight. They start tomorrow, I believe. I believe that's the case. Somebody might correct me. But that got me thinking, because it's like people aren't going to be able to go to the Olympics and be spectators. And it's kind of like, don't you want like a mic'd up Olympics? These people who are like the cream of the crop, the most professional people that we think we know. And then could you just imagine some gymnast being like on the fucking pommel horse going at it, right? Slips up a little bit and you just get a big old fuck coming out of the speakers. Give the people what they want, okay? Give us the behind the scenes of the Olympics. Now, we got it a little bit. A few years back when Ryan Lochte was out there telling everybody that he got mugged in an alleyway, which came out to be not true.
Is the USA traveling there?
Yeah, but they're not like actually sanctioned by the country, I don't think. So athletes are competing, but I don't think they're actually like sanctioned by the United States.
I would like to see the numbers of viewership for the Olympics versus, I don't know, like just normal sports that we have here in America, because I think not enough people know about it. I don't think it's advertised enough, and I don't think that give me the curling schedule. I'd watch some curling, throw it on the background.
Hey, I mean, it is the Winter Olympics. I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh, we'll get to watch the bobsledding and stuff like that. But the curling is cream of the crop. And here's what's funny though, it's like football, physical specimen, absolutely. Baseball, maybe not as much, but like still the cream of the crop in their sport. Why are the Olympics not advertised as much? You know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be the best of the best for each country, and you're telling me that we're not going to plaster this all over, whether it's the internet or whatever streaming service we have anymore. Come on, this is supposed to be the representation of our country, and they are better than anybody else. You win a gold medal, like Usain Bolt. Did he even compete last summer? No, but he's still revered as the fastest man alive because he still holds the record.
I think that's why he's probably. I wonder if Summer Olympics gets more viewership than Winter Olympics. Because I mean, for Winter Olympics, I just don't see a lot of sports where people are like, "Yeah, the figure skating's cool," and then you have the curling, which I'd watch.
Hockey, I mean, hockey in the Olympics is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I would agree. I think sprinting has become like the forefront of the Olympics and what we think of. Sprinting and gymnastics are like the two things that kind of come to mind.
And I think swimming was there too because of Phelps and then Usain Bolt.
But now it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, now that Phelps is done, there's a couple women swimmers, and I apologize because I can't think of their names off the top of my head right now, that are supposed to be pretty dominant. And I guess there's some kid that just went in on the men's side that's supposed to be really good, but it didn't. I don't think any of them got gold. Not to say that, I mean, they still medaled in some things, which it's that meme that's as old as time where it's like watching the Olympics with a mouthful of chips and the guy barely stumbles on his landing. What a fucking loser kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know.
I think the mic'd up thing might actually help like drive the Olympic stuff, because what do we love as like here in America anyway? What do we love? We love big personalities. We love, people talking trash, talking shit. We would eat that shit up. That would make it so much more interesting. And honestly, I mean, we'd be into it. I mean, you got Michael Phelps smoking pot. You got all these people like, yeah, that's kind of cool. We'll watch that
shit. Give me some like table tennis player. Just, you get you hear the audible like, ha, yeah, and all that shit when they go. But give me like they score a point and they just like under the breath, get out of here with that forehand shit kind of thing. Right? You know what I mean? Like give me some of that. That would be very.
I said, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, you think that curve was slick, huh? I don't think so, pal. So we'll talk about that Suicide Squad, the next Suicide Squad that's supposed to be slated for next year. Subtitled "Kill the Justice League." Okay, is DC about to make a big move finally? Is this the movie we've been waiting for? And will it be any good? I mean, you have to ask that question when it's DC, unfortunately.
Is James Gunn still directing it?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, then I'd say it might be something. Have you watched Peacemaker at all yet?
No, not yet. No, I haven't gotten to it yet. I was busy doing things in Minecraft, so I didn't have time.
Yeah. I don't know. Building an entire world. You built 2 cities worth of buildings, and I've built one building.
I found out what I wanted to make today. My next project is going to be I'm going to build a space station. Not a space station, but a spaceship. And then take up. And maybe I'll build a space station in the sky. I haven't decided yet, but we're going to do it.
So here's what you're going to do. You're going to make it look like a spaceship that's standing up, and it's going to end up looking like a penis, and we're all going to laugh about it. And then I don't know about your space station. Good luck with that one. I don't know what you got planned for that, but I'm sure it'll involve a lot of glass and a lot of deep slate and a lot of fucking stone. But you know what? I am proud of you, man. That's right. The creative juices have been flowing with you lately.
Yeah, there ain't much else that's been flowing lately, so it's just.
Jeff Bezos demands that historic bridge be taken apart so his super yacht can pass through. And he said, "Hey, this is the only way for me to get to the sea with this thing. You guys need to take it down."
I'm sorry. So we have this contraption on the window where the cats sit. It's a hammock, and the cats, if both of them get on there, they're too heavy for it because they're fat asses. So they both jumped on there, and the suction cups fell down. Well, the wife's trying to fix it, and as she's trying to fix it, the cats are jumping back onto it, and it's.
Yes. Thank you for the reconstruction of our pad. Yeah.
What were we talking about for yachts? Straight yachts.
So Jeff Bezos, okay, he's got this super yacht, and apparently he has it parked on one side of this historic bridge, and to get it to the other side of the historic bridge, he's like, "Hey, you guys need to take that thing down, so I can get through here." Just buy the thing and tear it down,
Yeah,
Jeff,
I'm,
or move the fucking thing. But here's it, like, okay, how many years do you think this thing has been entrenched in history? And just because Jeff Bezos has so much money to buy a super yacht that he clearly must have assembled wherever it's at, not thinking, hey, I got to get this thing out to the fucking sea. You know what, Bezos? You got enough money, just create your own canal, okay? Like a private canal. Think of it like his own personal.
Or just take a saw, fucking saw off the part that's gonna touch it, go underneath, and just plaster that shit on. Okay, you know what? Throw a little blue collar in your life. All right, you'll enjoy that.
Yeah. How about a little appreciation for your drivers that can't even take a piss during their workday? Otherwise, you fire them and replace them.
Yeah, they're gonna take a shit in bags and. Dude, people are attacking Seth, or was it not? Yeah, Joe Rogan lately. Did you see that?
Yeah, supposedly he spread some misinformation about COVID, and I didn't read the whole article. I was gonna put that in here, and I was like, I don't know, like I don't really listen to his show, but I'm a Joe Rogan guy.
Yeah, I listen to like here and there ones, but it's just like to see people just attack him and him just not care. Like, if you want to waste your breath, try to cancel Joe Rogan. I mean, he's just not going to give a shit. Like, why is that the hill that you're going to die on? But whatever.
Yeah, especially after like just last year, Spotify gave him this like outrageous contract, and people were like, "Oh, pull him from Spotify, pull him." And Spotify's like, "We just spent like $100 million on this guy. Why the fuck would we do that?
This is guaranteed money, okay?"
That's like the same conversation they were talking about, like with Tony Romo. He's just a booze bag up in the booth apparently, and they're like, we spent too much money on this guy, so there's no getting rid. Which, by the way, he is. If he had this talent when he was actually a quarterback in the NFL, can you imagine how dominant he would be? I mean, to guess every single play, right? Like every time. But
speaking
he didn't have that.
Money. The Chiefs are paying Patrick Mahomes $500 million, and old Joey Business gave it to him.
We talked about this off air before. The Joey Business nickname is one to be reckoned with. I mean, kudos to you. I know you're going to want to spend a ton of time talking about it, but kudos to you and your boys. The young. Confidence, arrogance, ignorance, call it what you want. Hey, ignorance is bliss. If you can't be hurt by what you don't know, and if they don't know,
to read at some point too. Not today, but eventually.
if you don't know that you have the potential to get absolutely mollywopped by teams like the Chiefs, and you have the utmost confidence that you're going to go in there and swing your dong and beat them, especially to be down like what was it, 21-3? I think we said going into the half. Hey. Hats off to you. They went on the run that the Chiefs did to make it to the Super Bowl the year they won. Remember, it was like they were down like 20 points against the Texans, came back and won. 20 points against the Titans, came back and won. So hey, maybe that's the trend that puts you in big games.
They're so young, they don't know what they're doing right now. Like they don't know how it like makes Bengal fans cry that they're winning so much. Like, they have no idea the, like, misery that the franchise has been through. They're just like, dude, we're just going out and playing ball. Yeah, my boy Joe, he's throwing me the ball. I'm catching it. We're scoring touchdowns. That's it.
Joe Burrow said, I'm going to smoke cigars and I'm going to throw touchdowns. And I don't have any cigars in my pocket right now, okay?
I'm all out of cigars.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, shall we?
Stop trying to fix it. She just keeps talking about
Space plane is a real. Oh, by the way, we got. Oh no, what's happening here? We're having a bit of a.
Oh gosh, flashing
situation. Let's go ahead and take that off for a second.
What was that?
So let me just sum it up for you. Okay, space plane, take off a runway and fly directly into space. Now I don't know if this image is what they had in mind. Let's try this again. I don't know, man. Sometimes you get problems with the computer. Single stage, so it's not like it has these boosters and then it loses the boosters and it just keeps floating off into space kind of deal. This is like, hey, this is all attached. Everything we got is what we're taking with us. We're going to fly off this runway, which, by the way, I don't love this idea. Okay, the airports are crowded enough as it is. Flight situations are not ideal. Let's not add spacecrafts to part of the problem. Would be fun to watch. If you're just sitting at the Columbus airport waiting for your flight, and you just see a spaceship get ready to get fucking launched, you're going to watch it. I mean, no doubt about it. You're going to take a little peek and see what Elon Musk is doing these days as that thing takes flight. But I just don't know. I don't understand the necessity for it, I guess, is my thing. Like, we have all these sites to be able to launch rockets from. Why does it need to take off from a runway? So it can land wherever. But here's the thing. Unless we go up there, create a runway on whatever planet we intend to land it on when we get there, there's no ideal space for these things to just land once they're there. Unless these are orbital missions, maybe.
The wife and I were watching planes landing on aircraft carriers now. We watched a plane. It didn't actually, as they kind of used to come in.
They grab the rope.
Yeah. It's not like that anymore. We watched a plane come in like a helicopter and then just drop down. And I'm like, that's where technology's going. You know what I mean?
Well, there's types of planes that have done that for a while now. But that probably is. I mean, I don't know anything. I don't know shit about jets. Like,
yeah,
it makes sense that they would all have that capability. Though.
I just know they go vroom and then they go past you and then you hear them later. Sometimes I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't sum it up better myself, buddy. So I guess here's the other thing too, is they're working on a car that converts into a plane as well. Not this same company necessarily, but that I'm all on board for. Supposedly it takes like 3 minutes for the change to happen to go from car to plane. But there's just so much involved too. Like, okay, so now you have to be
car to sub.
Ooh.
That'd be dope.
Imagine you're flying, right, and you run out of gas, and this thing's just fucking sputtering back down to Earth, and you just got to land this thing on fucking 270 going around Columbus. Just how do you navigate that? And by the way, who decides how you?
Listen, if you're flying your car and you run out of gas, that's on you. Get the hell out of here.
That's a good point. Yeah, obviously you're not a good navigator in the first place, so you could fuck right off, I suppose. But it's something you got to consider now, because this is what we're doing going forward. We've all dreamt of this day, sure. But now that it's feasible, I have so many more questions than we have answers. It's not so much how great this thing is going to seem. It's more of like, is some asshole going to cut me off on the highway and then turn his car into a plane and just take off and be like, give us, just doing one of these things on the way out? What kind of license do you have to be able to fly these things? What restriction? What is this going to do for the FAA in terms of flight patterns, shit like that?
I think with stuff like that, it would have to be like you could only go a certain height. There'd be certain, almost like highways and stuff that you'd have to be on. And if they ever actually implement like flight travel to where it was that accessible and where everyone is using it, it would have to be automated. I would think you wouldn't be able to actually control it yourselves, just because. I mean, shit, like you got shit going everywhere. You know what I mean? That's chaos.
And that's it. Yeah, I think. People with road rage, imagine somebody that has a plane that gets some sort of road rage, because there are a lot of other plane car things in the sky, and just taking one of these things and fucking causing a 10-car error pile up.
The Jetsons did do it. That's what I was thinking about too. I was like, all right. But they exclusively only had flying cars. They didn't have the wheels ones, I think. I don't know. Pretty sure they didn't. I'm pretty sure it was just flying cars.
That's a good question. I can't tell you the last time. By the way, all the Hanna-Barbera comics, cartoons, fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Bravo, by far the best out of all of them. All right, let's get into
by the way, Discovery Plus has a streaming service now. Or Discovery Channel. Is the old Steve Irwin things on there? because I'd get that to watch that.
Good question. I'm not sure. I just did. I just
I am a creepy computer robot. Beep boop, beep boop.
Well, I'll try to get that fixed. I don't know. One thing though, on Disney Plus, Jeff Goldblum is on there, and like we've talked about before, he's an absolute national treasure, and he is someone who I like to model myself after, and I always forget that.
Derek doesn't like him. Derek thinks he's dumb. Can you believe that?
Well, you know what we think. You know what we think about Derek. Derek doesn't like Minecraft either. It's because that man has no imagination. Okay, he has no understanding of the finer things.
The finer thing. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
there's no vision in that man. But yeah, are you tired of the streaming services now? I've been pitching Apple TV just because it's so recently, but are you tired of how many there are?
We need more team up. Like, we need more bundles. Like, we need someone to come out and say, okay, you can get all the streaming services you want for $100 a month. You know what I mean? Because it's slowly starting to turn into this $10 here, $15 here. And then before you know it, you're paying almost $200 for the streaming services. Because, I mean, you have Disney Plus, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, Hulu, YouTube TV if you want regular TV. Then you got, you got all these different things. And it's like, I can't keep up paying for all this shit.
Well, here's the beauty of it, though. And Disney's doing this, and let's be honest, they'll probably buy half the other streaming services by the time it's all said and done. Because you can do the Disney Plus, the Hulu, and the ESPN Plus bundle, which pretty nice. And yeah, I mean, at this point, Perry, you're better off just paying for cable television. Yeah. And with DirecTV, you get access to a lot of these streaming services, anyways. And it's like, how the fuck is this the fall of civilization to where we revert to the shit that we were already doing, and we think that's so great now? You know what I mean? You get this. Netflix comes out. This is the best thing ever. I can binge these shows now. They put full seasons out at a time, and I have no problems. You get snowy days like we got here in Central Ohio right now, and it doesn't matter because I can sit down, curl up, grab a couple bush lattes, and bang out an entire season of something in a day. But now I got to go back to DirecTV where I have commercials and all this jazz just to make it better.
At what point is it just not going to be like, or is it going to be like, yeah, you get DirecTV, but DirecTV is all streaming. Like, yeah, you get your subscription to these 10 streaming services. You know what I mean? Like, HBO. By the way, Paramount Plus has nothing that people my age want to watch. It's all old Western. There's not a lot on there that I'm interested in.
And here's the thing, too. I got caught by this. So Paramount Plus, they've got two different things. They've got the standard package. They got the premium package. I bought the standard package, which is only like $6 a month, right?
Oh, well, it's 99 cents a month right now for the free trial for 3 months. Yeah,
maybe that's what I have. But anyway, God, I hope so. I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad. Anyway, fucking con artists, man. I tell you, that's as soon as you pay, there's somebody else who gets it cheaper. That's what I'm. That's all I'm saying. I did Paramount Plus. Yellowstone has been something everybody's been talking about, right? So I did the standard package, Paramount Plus. This is going to be great. Oh, well, they're not actually streaming Yellowstone on Paramount Plus right now. You have to do the premium package to watch older episodes. But you can watch the prequel that is now currently airing on TV. You can watch those episodes on the standard package. Yeah, like they just try. Hey, really in with this show that we've been hyping up really well. By the way, here's a series that's tied to this one, but pay more to watch it.
I think I figured it out. That's what I'm going to do. If it's a TV series I want, I'll get that streaming service for the time I'm watching the TV series or whatever. then cancel it, right? And if it's a movie you want, just go to Amazon Prime and buy that bitch.
So yeah,
Amazon Prime's got everything.
and I've fallen into this, and they get me though too, because that's exactly how I used to be. I mean, you guys know I had this huge collection of digital downloads just because I travel so much. It made sense for me to buy all the
You and me
movies that I
both.
wanted to watch. Yeah, and now it's one of those things where HBO Max, I think, has me pretty wrapped up in this. They'll air the movie for like say a month, 30 days. Hey, here's this premiere, and then they'll take it off the streaming service. But in like 2 months from then, they're gonna put it back on there and say, hey, look at these newly added movies. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was great when I watched it. I want to watch it again. So then I don't buy it knowing it's going to come back on, and then I get wrapped up in some other bullshit show, and I continue on and on down this path, and I just don't buy as many movies as I used to.
I swear to you, every time I buy a movie on Amazon Prime, I buy the movie. 3 weeks later, I will have checked every streaming service and be like, nothing's on. Not even 3 weeks later, it pops up on one of these streaming services, and I lose my damn mind because I've spent like $19 on this movie, and
Yeah.
for no reason.
But here's the beauty of that for me is there's still a lot of like random obscure movies that I want to watch that typically aren't on any of the streaming services. Like Shrek. Shrek's hard to find usually on a streaming service. So that's one that I go out and buy. Like that's where I'm at this point.
By the way, have you seen? We watched a really good movie last night. We're gonna watch the second one, Neighbors. Have you seen Neighbors?
Oh yeah, with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
We haven't seen the second one. We're gonna watch it tonight.
Oh, that's great.
We watched it for the first time last night, and we were dying. It was great.
What a fantastic movie! I can't believe that's an older movie too. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, older as in like 2010s, but
yeah, like we were in high school then. Like, all right, what about these frogs? Frogs losing shit.
Yeah, let's talk about these frogs, man. So
the first one has Efron in it too.
Yeah. So what they're saying is we'll be able to replace or regrow limbs within our lifetime, and amphibians, frogs specifically, seem to be the way it works. This sounds awfully similar to a little villain we know called Lizard in the Marvel Universe, who is in Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's talk about it.
Before we go, how can they say that this is going to be a thing when we can't reattach spinal cords yet?
Well, they said it'll happen in our lifetime. So,
but whose lifetime? Whose lifetime? Yeah, we have to start thinking about that when we start thinking about these articles now, because I mean, that's 30 extra years for someone who's just born. You know what I mean? Like
I think, yeah. And here's the thing: is I think we need to I think we need to stop fucking with the amphibians or the reptiles altogether to make things. Because wasn't it frog DNA that they combined with like the DNA from the mosquito that they found in the amber for Jurassic Park situation? I just really feel
bring back dinos. Bring them back.
Do you really want that?
Bring them back. Bring them back. Come and get it.
Who? The dinos?
I don't know. I'll team up with Chris Pratt. Everything will be okay. He knows a lot about them.
Okay, no, he trained 3 velociraptors. Okay,
that's more knowledge than anyone else has. I'm hanging out with him. All right. Wonder how long it took him on set to train 3 velociraptors. That's crazy.
I wonder how long it took him to grow the velociraptors for him to train.
Just throw them in his basement. Just.
He had Derek hold on to him because nothing gets out of Derek's basement.
Griff had ideal growing conditions.
Yeah. But so like I said, this seems like a recipe for disaster. I mean, just like we've had movies about why you shouldn't recreate dinosaurs, although you seem to be ignorant of those movies, it appears.
Listen, you want the woolly mammoth back or not?
I do want the woolly man.
Yeah.
The boys are back in town. Hey, get your t-shirts.
Right, a woolly mammoth in the
I haven't made a new t-shirt in a while. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do over the next couple days.
War mammoth. It's just us riding a woolly mammoth. Throw that on there.
I don't hate that.
I'm here for the people.
But like I said, this is the Dr. Connors situation, right?
Yeah.
This is I can regrow my limbs, but at what cost? Because now I also have a tail, scales, sharp teeth, webbed hands, claws, and I go around terrorizing the city.
Is that just not the next step in human evolution, or what?
You think so? Is this? Hey.
We got half hour left. Let's go into our Spider-Man spoilers.
Let's do it.
Take the rest of the day. Talk towards the can. Let's go. Marvel reviews, baby.
You guys wanted to talk about the Olympics. That's too fucking bad, isn't it?
We already talked about it.
Listen, we took this. We had this jar, right? And Rod and I just put everything into this jar. Well, there's so much. We've been waiting to talk about this for the better part of 2.5 months now. So it's time. Let's get it out there. Fantastic movie. We already touched on some of the gimmicky shit, but the fact that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield reprise their roles as Spider-Man, which it sounds like, call it what it is, a lot of smoke and mirrors around Marvel right now, sounds like they might actually get their own movies again.
Oh, listen, Tobey Maguire looks like he needs to be doing ads for Trojan, all right? Like, for Viagra commercials, okay? Get him out of here. All right,
take your Cialis and leave us alone.
I might be in the minority when I say my favorite parts of that movie were actually parts that, I mean, not the parts that involved them weren't bad by no means. I just think that a lot of those lines felt like someone put it really well. It seemed almost like it was actors reading off a Saturday Night Live script, like an SNL skit, like as they're in the movie. And I was like, okay, I like it. I love the callback when he caught Zendaya and was like crying about it. Like, yeah, I felt that, but some of it just seemed kind of like off to me with them. But the rest of the movie, I absolutely love.
Perry, way to pick it up. I was going to misquote it, so I'm glad you said that. Yeah, he calls him are you going to dress like a hip youth pastor, or do you actually have your costume on? And then he does this, and he's got the Spider-Man costume on underneath, so kind of situation. But I mean, that was it for me. Is I think there's two things that the cinema world is built on: nostalgia and sex appeal. And we know you love you some Gerard Butler, probably in a sweaty T-shirt, just loving every minute of him saving the day. So don't even tell me that's not the case. But
listen, if they were going for that, they would have gave me what's his name, Nick Miller as Spider-Man, and that would have drove my sex appeal through the roof. Okay, but missed opportunity, and you know what? I can't help but blame Disney on that. You know what?
Well, we're not done. You know, I mean,
we're not done. You're right. We're not done.
That movie's going to be coming out end of this year, right? The second installment of Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a good one. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I loved it. Give me the now in terms of the gimmicky stuff. You know, the way they transport them was kind of gimmicky. Is like, okay, you could have built this up a little bit more, but you didn't.
It wasn't the first, like when I think it was when Andrew Garfield came through first. That wasn't gimmicky. It was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, maybe it was a fluke with but then when they did it back to back, I was like, come on, guys. Be a little more creative with how you're bringing the second one in.
But also, think of it like this. So, before Tom Holland, you know, they say Tom Holland is good at both roles, both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. But they said Andrew Garfield is great as Spider-Man. He said everybody says he's the best Spider-Man. So when Ned does the whole "Give me Spider-Man," Andrew Garfield's character shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody says that Tobey Maguire had the best storyline for Peter Parker. And so when Ned says, "Give me Peter Parker," then Tobey Maguire Spider-Man shows up. So to add that a little bit, I thought was really cool and kind of funny in that regard.
Yeah.
So the way, whether they set that up intentionally or not, I have no idea. I think the movies failed, Perry. I think the movies failed as Spider-Man, but I don't think Andrew Garfield was actually bad. I mean, he had the kind of quippy, cocky mentality that Spider-Man does, at least in the newer comics. And they showed, and I did the slight deep dive, more of a shallow dive than a deep dive, in all the stuff that took place in No Way Home. And if you go back and watch some of the Amazing Spider-Man scenes, the way Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man acts is actually very arachnid-like. Like when he wraps up Lizard in one scene, he's actually crawling around him and like putting the web around him as opposed to just like shooting webs at him. So looking at, like, taking a step back and looking at those movies, I think I've gained a greater appreciation for them. Now, the movie as a whole, the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, I didn't love, but I've grown to think that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was actually better than what I initially thought.
I don't remember even seeing Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, to be honest with you. So it's,
you just love him from Hacksaw Ridge. So you're like, give me Andrew Garfield. By the way, I finally watched it. It was great. What a great movie. Hacksaw Ridge is a
fucking love it, dude.
Lord, give me the strength to get another. And then he brings like 75 people off the fucking ridge.
It just keeps bringing people down while artillery's going off, like not giving a shit. I'm like,
while there's like Japanese military looking for him, artillery's going off, like all this stuff. And the part that sucks is like when they go back up on the ridge, he's up there for like 10 minutes, gets shot, and they're like, "All right, bud, you're fucking done." Like, you know what I mean? It was that part was kind of anticlimactic to me, but I mean, but that's a true story. Like,
that's the crazy end of the movie. That was a true story. You know, it's like holy shit.
At the end of the movie, they interview the real person, and Dawson. I can't remember his first name.
Badass,
really? What an absence, right? long Dick Dawson.
Yeah, long Dick Dawson.
The only difference I would make is I don't know that I would cast Vince Vaughn as a military leader. I think I missed the mark on that one a little bit.
I mean, maybe Vin Diesel. I could have thought. I was like, okay, but Vince Vaughn. I'm like, look at this fuck face. I was like, it added some comic relief to it though, where I was like, okay, all right, I can get behind that.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of one of those. I was like, it did make me chuckle a little bit, but I don't think that was their intention, though. You know what I mean? They didn't cast Vin. They didn't cast Vince Vaughn to get a laugh. Like that's not what their plan was. But I mean, it worked. So.
But back to Spider-Man though. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I loved how my favorite part of the entire movie is probably at the very end when I don't like the whole mind erasing thing. I'm okay with it as long as they don't spend 2 or 3 more movies focusing on him telling Zendaya and Ned about him being Spider, because that'll piss me off. Because I'm like, you're just backtracking. I think that's lazy writing. But like him, all right, everyone forgetting about him, great. But then that final scene where he's in the new suit and he's going across, it's almost like that transition between Spider-Boy and he's actually now Spider-Man. Because now he has to take care of himself. He's in that little shitty apartment. You know what I mean? Like,
that was the one thing that a lot of people said. That was the one thing a lot of people said too. Is I mean, you can look at it this way. They're finally, the way they went about developing the Peter Parker character in this franchise seemed, I don't know if rushed is the right word, but his struggles were like too extreme. Like give him normal struggle. And I think that's why Tobey Maguire was so successful in his appearances, because he's in that shit apartment. You know, like he's got the guy where he's like, "Oh, you got my rent," and like every other scene, and it's one of those things where it shows much more of the balance between him being Spider-Man and him being Peter Parker. Whereas the Tom Holland version is, it's like, all right, which first of all, like everybody found out pretty much within the first movie, practically, and it was like, what the actual fuck? But
Yeah, but I think too, like I think that's two different ones because with your Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like he's living on his own right away. He's not so much, or no, he's not. No, no, you're right, he's not. But yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I guess they're kind of playing it as more of they didn't want to show the Uncle Ben dying again. I guess. And
I get, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Which,
because you still have like high school problems and stuff, but he doesn't get kicked out. So it's almost like slower. Like it's slowed down what we saw in the the first set of movies because now he's just getting his apartment, which where I think we'll see the struggles with that we saw with the first one. I can't think of his name. Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Come on now. Good Lord.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I agree. I mean, that makes sense. And it's nice to see the change of pace. But I mean, they basically just took out the Uncle Ben character and plugged in Aunt May. That's all they did with this new franchise. She gives them great power, great responsibility. Oh yeah, she gets fucked. By the way, Willem Dafoe coming back as Green Goblin.
Dude. He still got it. Still fucking got it.
Still got the fastball. He came in there. I want to change. I want to change so badly. Build this machine for me. And he fucking murders as many people as he can, basically.
Right. So you have Doctor Strange in it, who I think he plays his thing. They give a little homage to the Loki thing where he's like, does the thing to Loki, and he's like, I've been falling for 40 minutes. And then he gets back through the portal. He's like, I've been strung out over a canyon for, an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of funny. But can we talk about how Doctor Strange didn't know about what was going on in the Eternals? Is that how? Can we talk about that a little bit for a second?
That's a good point. Right. Which, by the way, the Eternals movie served its purpose, but I didn't love it.
I thought it was fun. I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but I thought it was fun. I was like, this is fun. Like, I can get behind it, I guess.
I mean, I like seeing Rob Stark not dead in anything, so that's pretty neat. Yeah. But the entire Stark clan, like, if what's the actor's name?
He's going to be an important character, though, it seems like. Like, they're really going to... He might get his own movie.
Icarus?
No, Rob Stark.
What?
You didn't see that at the
you're thinking of Jon Snow, bud.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Rob Stark is Icarus, and Jon Snow.
Oh yeah, no, he did as fuck, dog.
yeah. Hold on a minute. But yeah, he's supposed to become Black Knight.
Yeah.
Which is like he gets some ancestral sword, like the ebony sword or something like that. I think is what it's called.
From what I read, it sounds like he's just a cross between a really good swordsman and Doctor Strange. Like he just uses mystical weapons and mystical like stuff. Like I've never heard of him before, but I was thinking Moon Knight, but I'm way off there. I was like, oh no, that's not it.
Which, by the way, did you finally watch the trailer for that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, watch the trailer. It looks so fucking good.
No, not that gander.
It looks so good. Doesn't come out till next month, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Like end of next month too, I think. But I'm so stoked for that one.
All right, what didn't you like about Spider-Man? Kind of pull us back.
Along the same lines as you, like the gimmicky stuff I didn't really love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess the thing for me is you see all the memes and there's zero logic involved to where he could have just as easily said, hey, can you make everybody forget Mysterio and what Mysterio said? Because then the people who knew he was Spider-Man would still know he's Spider-Man because he told them. Peter Parker himself told them.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else who was ignorant to the fact that he was Spider-Man to begin with would just forget everything that Mysterio said. You know what I mean? Like that would have never been televised and all that.
That is brilliant. But what if, hear me out, like I'm not saying the writers and directors did this because I don't think anyone was smart enough to think about that besides whoever fucking figured that out. But what if that, you know how DC's biggest problem is adding the human element to what they do, right? What if that's kind of how Marvel's been putting it, saying Doctor Strange didn't think about that because he's human. Peter didn't think about that because he's a child. You know what I mean? Like, what if that's just like, yeah, they could have, but they just didn't fucking think of it. Like, what's to say they didn't just fucking think of it? You know what I mean?
Or, I mean, let's unravel this even further. We've talked about this theory already. Let's say that Doctor Strange isn't the real Doctor Strange.
Yeah, we already know the end of. I was just telling someone about this the other day that at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, Nick Fury isn't really Nick Fury in that.
And here's the thing is, you don't have to be specifically Doctor Strange to be able to use the mystical arts, right?
Right.
We know that.
Right. Yeah.
So was this something that should have actually been pretty simple, but a scroll fucked it up? Because there's going to be a secret invasion series.
Multiverse of Madness comes out in May, I want to say, and it's 3 hours long right now. So I'm going to need a bladder bag for that son of a bitch. But and it breaks, apparently it breaks the record for how many Marvel characters are going to be in a movie.
Oh, over Endgame?
Yeah, they said more than Endgame. But there's also like you're gonna have like alternate reality characters because he's going to different universes.
I sent you that thing. It's been rumored that Tom Cruise is going to make an appearance as Iron Man because he was originally sought after to play the Iron Man role, and he's supposed to be like strong as shit. Like supposedly he holds 3 Infinity Stones, like Thanos' head on a fucking platter in his little cave or whatever.
That's all it is his head. He just talks to it every day. He's like, yeah, should have went for the head. I did, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, that kind of situation. Supposedly John Krasinski is gonna play Captain America and make a cameo there. I don't know anymore. You know.
I just want Krasinski to be Mr. Fantastic. That's it. That's all I want. Like, just give me that. Really? I think it'd be okay. Like, I think it'd make it work.
I think he's good enough to play a better role than not that Mr. Fantastic. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Fantastic.
What are you thinking then? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking? You gotta have something else in plan then.
Give me. Oh boy.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? Give me an alternate Bucky.
Alternate Bucky, but I want something that's going to be there constantly, like an actual implement into the universe, not just like a here, look at me now, I'm gone. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's got the hair for it. You know, the pretty boy
show business, baby. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. This is what we're talking about right now, isn't it?
As long as I get Nick Miller as Spider-Man at some point, that's all I want.
Yeah,
I don't get to be trash the rest of the universe. I just want that.
Whenever Sony just finally lets that last little bit of hope slip from their fingers, well, we might get a Nick Miller Spider-Man.
That's all I want.
Live action Nick Miller Spider-Man.
Yep.
Just give it. Don't even like. Give me the Multiverse of Madness, and it's just Nick Miller Spider-Man fucking putting baby powder in the armpits of the suit, and cut away and let that be it.
Just eating a piece of pizza with his gut hanging out over the suit. I would die.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
And give me the Spider-Man top with the mask and the sweatpants on, like he had it in Into the Spider-Verse for like the first half of it, basically. So I will say this though, the one thing that I did really enjoy is the conflict that Peter has at the very end of the movie where he has a chance to kill Green Goblin. And what happens? Tobey Maguire steps in, catches that thing, and is like, don't.
That's my job, bitch.
Yeah. What would you do if he took the glider from him and he's like, it's gonna be okay, and then he turned around and just shoved it right in the fucking Green Goblin's chest, and he's like, listen, the problem solved. This motherfucker ain't ever coming back. Okay. No,
Yeah.
I did enjoy that because that's the first time we've really seen that struggle with him, where it's like he toes that line between like, I have the capability to do it, why shouldn't I, kind of thing.
And the thing I really liked about this movie too is they could have, like with the second movie, made it about Iron Man, Tony Stark. They could have made it about the new Spider-Man or the old Spider-Man coming in. They could have made it about anything else, but this was a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, no matter which way you look at it, and I absolutely love that. And I'm here for the next one. Like, the Avengers don't know that he's Spider-Man now. So someone else is gonna. So he's technically not an Avenger anymore.
And he's on his own. He doesn't. Well, I mean, he didn't have the mentor as Tony Stark anymore because Tony's already dead. But he's got no mentor, no Happy, no Ned.
Here's the crazy thing: like, people still remember events in which Spider-Man helped in. I forget what scene it was, but that they let you know that they still remembered like Spider-Man helping out in Civil War and in Endgame. People remember that. They just don't know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. So, like, maybe we'll see with the Avengers assemble and be like, let's get Spider-Man. And then we'll be like, wait, does anyone know who the fuck that actually is? You know what I mean? I bet we see a scene like that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, now that you mention it, like going back to Civil War, I don't love that Tony Stark was just so quick to be like, oh, hey, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so unimpressive how they got to that conclusion. And
under ruse.
Yeah,
that was a great intro. Though.
His whole interaction in Civil War. I think Civil War was my favorite Spider-Man interaction. Tom Holland Spider-Man interactions out of any of the movies.
Oh, hey Cap. Well, you're from New York too? Brooklyn, Queens.
Hey, are these made out of carbon fiber? That explains the flexibility. He's got the wings and everything. What the hell is that? Everybody's got a gimmick now. He's climbing on the window and shit.
When he's talking to Falcon, there's not this much talking with fighting. Oh, okay.
Have you ever been in a fight before? And then he gets his ass absolutely kicked, and Iron Man comes over. And he's like, "Hey, you're done. You're done." And he's like, "Oh, whoa, what? No, whoa, I got him. He's the same team. You're done." So let's talk about this. Captain America didn't actually know how strong Spider-Man was. So when he hit that thing and that jet bridge came down and Spider-Man caught that whole jet bridge, he didn't actually know that was going to happen. You know what I mean?
I'm assuming that he was assuming that if Tony brought this child to the fight, that he could hold his own. All right. Like,
master tactician just doesn't think twice when trying to crush his fucking spider.
Like, all right. My favorite thing is when he's attacking Thanos and Thanos goes, insect, and just fucking launches him off of him.
Yeah, how did he know that? He's never been to Earth. Are we the only... Like, you would think insect would be specific to planets.
Maybe he shot him with a web. Maybe insect is just a... That's a good question. I feel like we're digging too much into the weaves here.
Oh, hey. By the way, let's touch on the Incredible Hulk, because this used to be a drink, Hennessy and Hypnotic. You put it together, you get this green juice here that apparently fucks your life up. Have you ever heard of this? You ever heard of the Incredible Hulk?
I have not.
This feels like something
new Disney Plus series coming out, but whatever.
I'm interested to try it. I've never had either of those drinks, so I don't know how that would go. But
did you say Hennessy and Hypnotic?
Yeah,
I've had Hennessy, and I believe I've had Hypnotic at one point, but I've never had them together.
Is it Hypnotic, like really blue and like
Yeah, I think so.
like
Yeah,
glittery and kind of shit? Yeah.
like I think you could probably do a shot of it and be like, oh, that wasn't awful. Now Hennessy, on the other hand, that's a different monster. It's a beast.
All right, let's wrap it up with this. Since we went on
Let's
this
do it.
huge superhero rant. Suicide Squad kill the Justice League.
Who is directing this movie? I need to know. If it's James Gunn, I want to see it. If it's anyone else, I really don't give a shit to see it.
Let's do a little IMDb dive here.
Let's do it. Which, by the way, James Gunn also came out and said that the next Guardians will be the last time we see all of them together.
I did hear that. Yeah. I did hear that. I'm okay with that. I'm a big advocate of the trilogies. I really am.
I think we should still have Star-Lord in there somehow, because I think Chris Pratt deserves a spot just to be in there. But who knows? Maybe they're just like, it's done.
I guess we're really gonna see with how well Tom Holland Spider-Man continues on, because he's slated for like 6 movies.
I think that really will probably decide too, like how much his like other movies take off as well. Like his Uncharted movie coming out, how well that does. I'm going to see it. I love the Uncharted games. I love Tom Holland. If Tom Holland wasn't in it, I'd probably be like, nah, I'm not watching this shit. But
I will say this though. So Tom Holland's supposed to be playing, what's his name? Tim Drake?
No,
Nathan Drake.
Yep.
To me, like seeing them next to each other, Mark Wahlberg looks more fit for that role. To me.
Yeah, he does. He does. I thought it was weird that they're going with a younger type of guy. In the video game, Mark Wahlberg would have been Nathan Drake, but then you'd have like an older guy that would be Sully. That's who Mark Wahlberg's playing. So it's kind of weird seeing that. But I don't know. Maybe we can watch it and figure it out. I don't know. I just feel he should have been. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that.
Yeah, and like you said, if you're basing it off the video game, sure. But if this is the installment that they're trying to attempt, then maybe we just sit back and watch and see what happens. But just, I mean, I've only played one of the Uncharted games, and that was Uncharted 4, which was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
But you know what? Talking about it, I might go back and play.
The graphics in it is just phenomenal. You're just like, wow.
Yeah, it really,
like groundbreaking.
It combines mystery and action and like almost like detective like stuff, because you have to find like, okay, hey, here's this brick that I have to push to get all this shit. It's very National Treasure-esque.
And it's not open world, which is phenomenal, because how many like games that you see that aren't open world that are able to keep your attention for that long? And it's pretty
not
dope.
many. Last of Us.
Yeah. By the way, you haven't
Uncharted.
played
No, I haven't.
You got to.
Spider-Man is. I mean, it's a large world, but it's
Spider-Man.
By the way, no, James Gunn not directing. Sefton Hill and Rasmus Højengard.
That's weird, because James Gunn directed the last Suicide Squad, so you'd think. I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, I want to see if Deadpool kills the Marvel universe. So if this goes well,
well, here's the other thing that kind of bothers me too. Maybe this is going to change at some point. James Gunn is also directing Peacemaker currently, if I'm not mistaken. So why would they pull him off of this one with the obvious success that he had? Otherwise, they wouldn't have made a Peacemaker TV show on HBO after the fact. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is always subject to change, because I mean, this says it's coming out in 2023. Who's to say it's not late 2023? And they have so much time to decide who's actually going to really direct this thing. Put a couple placeholders in there, and we'll come back to it. But I am interested. Hey, if they want to, Is this a? Is this? Oh, hold on now.
The wife and I were talking about
Oh, this is a video game.
what is.
This is.
Oh, really? Oh, is it like a Mortal Kombat style video game or something like that?
I hope not. Should we watch the trailer?
Let's
watch
do
the
it.
trailer.
Let's give it a whirl.
Turn the volume off because nobody can hear it anyways.
This is a video game. This isn't a movie.
I'm so upset now. I wish I had caught that earlier.
You're trash. This is on you. You know what? Fire our stats analytics guy. Get the fuck out of here. The content guy. He's gone.
Fire our director, stats analyst guy, media personnel.
I mean, I watched. I don't know what he's saying. He sounds scary though. Looks like
that's Captain. That's got to be Captain Boomerang, right?
Yeah. Which, by the way, made him seem like a bitch in the movies. He sucks.
He gets destroyed in the first 10 minutes of the second movie.
Oh, okay. All right. That looks fun. Looks like an open world type game. That's Shark Face. Fucking Maui with his hook.
Good reference. Great reference, bud.
Daughter here. Yeah,
I don't know. This looks great. This looks halfway interesting.
It's gonna be, and it's gonna turn out like that Avengers game that you and I played when I was down in Georgia.
Avengers Omega or some shit like that. That button masher that we just spent hours on.
I'd have Squirrel Girl every time. You'd be like,
I hate you so much. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they've done Injustice. Why can't we do an actual Justice League version of this before we dive into Injustice? You know what I mean?
I don't know. DC's got their fuck you about everything. It seems like they don't actually care about continuity or anything. They're just worried about self-focused things. So they're like, okay, we don't really care, but all right, here's another Batman. Here's our sixth one in your lifetime.
Movie. By the way, hey, that's the one that's coming up.
If you don't make $1 billion a movie, make $100 million for 10 movies. Problem solved.
But budget it for a $10 million movie.
Yeah.
Oh God. Let's wrap it up there for today. Thank you everybody who chimed in. Lord Perry Davis, always a pleasure, sir. Cheers, buddy. That's right. Hey, Look at that. Hey, we need to get some of them made for us. That's what we.
Oh, I got some extras. You want some? Got quite a few of these bad boys.
Are they all pink or?
Well, don't fucking worry about it. All right. What doesn't matter if it's pink. All right.
I'm just asking the hard questions, bud. Thank you for everybody who listened. Graham chimed in early. We appreciate you as always. Again, Lord Perry Davis, littering our comment section. We will get to those articles. So the articles we didn't touch on today, we'll touch on next week. Don't worry. We got into the deep dive.
We got you, man. You knew what this was. You knew this was going to happen. If you watch the show consistently, you knew that was going to happen.
So once we go on our slowdown period, maybe I work on picking up the social medias a little bit. We do have a TikTok account. There's like 5 videos on that thing. Maybe we really get that thing rolling and see where it takes us. So you'll get content. It's just going to be in much smaller bits and pieces from us. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, we got a show next week on Wednesday. And then from there, it's probably going to be hodgepodge because I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to look like yet. I just know it is going to be busier going forward. So, just be on the lookout for that. We'll make sure we're doing much more regular announcements. I know sometimes we're just like, hey, by the way, we got a fucking show on Thursday at 7 today, so be there or don't. I don't give a shit.
We'll let you know because we're building lives right now. We're trying to do what's best for us and our family and stuff. We love doing this. Eventually, you know what? We're gonna retire, and guess what? We're just gonna be doing podcasts all day, baby. Yeah. We'll be able to break it to 7 days a week.
If you guys hang out with us till we're 80 years old, you guys will be able to see us all day, every day. Until then, thank you for everybody who listened. Hey, Go check out our boys at CBD Brothers USA. Oh, I thought I thought I had that sticker on the backside. I
We'll get
didn't.
some of
That's
these
on
your
me.
way.
Go get your shirts. Be on the lookout. I'm going to be putting shirts up. Cheers shirt probably coming your guys' way,
Bottle
so be
opener,
on the
too.
lookout for that. Oh, I'll have to see. They might have bottle openers. We'll take a look. Anyways, from us to you, as always, cheers.
Cheers.